Welcome back, one and all. Sorry about that slight delay, but we are now back for Feign Disorder versus Solar Fleet, and we have two very high DPS setups for you with Claymores and Helas on both sides. Solar Fleet has brought a setup extremely similar to what they brought last weekend. Last weekend was a Sleipnir, but this time it's Claymore, Scimitar, double Vexor Navy, triple Hela, double Worm, Algos, undermanned again, but of course with a lot of hitting power. And Feign Disorder has brought another really cool Claymore Hela setup. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that, Elise?
Yeah, they completely swapped up from what they took last match. They took two Claymores. They've got Hams on the Claymores, I believe. They have three Helas and then Worms and Merlins as their tackle. So yeah, stuff is gonna die pretty fast. They both warped in at range to the beacon. They're actually pretty far from one another, which is actually pretty good for them because that's what they wanted. So now it gives them the choice to dictate exactly how they're going to burn around.
All right, so the match has
far,
begun, and lots of damps on Solar.
Yeah. Solar is rushing into them and rushing into Feign, rather, and Feign is sort of rushing back in the direction of this MJD beacon that's behind them.
Oh, Solar isn't all rushing. They just have a Vexor Navy issue that's rushing in.
Yeah, I guess he didn't get the memo, and he's just charging in to the same micro jump beacon as everyone else, though, and he's not taking much damage yet. So maybe they're just completely confused.
Elisha in the Vexor Navy issue, he's taking shield damage now. You're not seeing any reps on him because he is a long way away from everyone else, and you're about to see him collapse, I think, because he is in the middle of the entire Feign Disorder team.
Meanwhile, Feign Disorder are about to lose their Scimitar. He's got an ASB almost surely, so he's bait tanking a little bit, but he's still taking a lot of damage. Probably more than they want to have done. If they can trade this Vexor Navy, which is about to explode in a second, for this Scimitar, it'll be a great trade for them.
So he has a bunch of these augmented Valkyries on him, but the Vexor Navy didn't get in and web him or anything, so I'm not sure whether that was part of the plan to catch him, but he is going to go down.
Maybe just wanted to scare him.
It's just the medium drones from those Helas are enough. They're great at killing Lodges, and there he goes.
Feign Disorder Scimitar down. Even though Solar sort of whelped their Navy Vexor for no reason, they're still looking really good. Now they're just killing some tackle.
Yep.
And
we're going to have to see where that swarm of augmented Hammerheads and augmented Valkyries and some Geckos goes next, but that is a lot of damage in those drones, and it looks like they're bringing them back to the front lines, maybe against one of the Claymores.
Yeah, the Feign Claymores are now rushing in. They know they've got a fire lit under them now, so they're just rushing straight into the Solar fleet.
Appleton for Solar, he has webs on him now, so he's going to start taking a bunch of damage. We've got the Claymores right on top of him. He's being cap transferred by an Algos. Is that right? No, it's just... Anyways, he's being orbited by his own Algos, and I think he's going to be dropping pretty quickly now.
So tiny little mistakes are what make tournament victories and losers, or separate the victors from the champions. Feign Disorder are shooting the Solar Scimitar with EM drones and explosive drones. Probably not what you want to throw against a Scimitar. Scimitars have a really high resist naturally to EM, and shields are actually pretty good resist against explosives. So this is not ideal for them.
No, but that Scimitar is dropping now. I actually wasn't imagining things. We're seeing energy transfers coming from the entire Solar team onto that Scimitar, including from the Claymore and from the Algoses, which isn't something you see very often, is Algos' energy transferring people. But it's not going to be enough to keep the Scimitar alive as he now drops. And meanwhile, the Claymore of Alton is holding on just fine.
Yeah, that tactic might want to be something you want to reconsider for the next week, because that is the only reason that they all died, is because they're all clumped together. If they were able to kite around... they would have been good.
Yeah, these Algoses were sitting right on top of him, and they're now dropping fast.
For some reason, Solar, after they killed that Simi, it was a great kill, but they haven't killed anything at all after that. They barely put any damage on anything. They're damaging a Kestrel, but they're going to trade a Navy Vexor and an Algos for half of a Kestrel. That's no good. This is turning into a disaster for Solar.
Yeah, I mean, this was obviously they were trying to do something very clever with the energy transfers, hopefully keep that Scimitar repping continuously through the damage, but against three Helas and Claymores and Worms that are all on top of you, it's just too much damage for an ASB on a Scimitar to tank.
Absolutely. Now damage is sort of slowing down. These Helas on the Solar team, they still got their 3 Hela core. That's all they really want, I guess.
Yep.
They're now working on this Claymore.
Alton is going down. He is boosting, but he's going to be on reload any time now, and he's dropping into armor now. I think he's on reload. So that's going to be a Claymore down for Feign Disorder, but of course Feign Disorder also has 3 helos. So even with these Claymores down, it's not going to be enough.
Do you think this is the only thing the Solar team can lock at the moment?
I'm really not sure.
Do you think that's why they went with the Claymore, or do you think they just really hate Claymores? Meanwhile, wow, Claymores has vanished for the Solar team. He got 3-shot or something. Like, I just looked away for a second. He was dead.
No, he's still... The Claymore for Solar is still alive. The Feign Disorder has lost one of their Claymores. Zeka Monster, the Claymore for Solar, is still on the field, but they did lose a Gila. Max Zesker.
Yeah, the Gila is what I was...
Yeah, he did go down very fast. They don't have any damps in the Gilas, so they can pick their targets, but obviously without the Scimitar supporting them, they do not have a gigantic tank. And that's something we've seen a lot from this tournament, is these Gilas, even with the decent tanking bonus they've got, once the logistics goes down, they drop very quickly.
Yeah, maybe they're just trying to say, hey, I'm a super tanky cruiser, don't try and shoot me, and they just go kind of with a bluff.
Mm-hmm. Now we've got the second Gila tackled for Solar Fleet. At this point, Feign Disorder is definitely in the driver's seat. They're using those frigs very effectively, the worms, to get webs onto the Gilas, and then they can get all the damage applied by the Claymore and the other Gilas. And the next Gila there for Solar Fleet is dropping into low shields, and he'll be dead in just moments.
Yes, and these Solar Fleet Healers were kind of doing the buddy system. They were right next to each other for most of the match. So after Alien goes down, Sir Ralph is going to be quick to follow because he's maybe 6 kilometers away from his BFF.
Yep. Meanwhile, Solar is still going after the Claymores. They're trying to take down Heros in his Claymore. They actually might be able to do it. He is dropping, but now actually with that second to last Gila down, he's probably going to be in pretty good shape. I really don't completely understand the choice of the Claymores here. The Claymores are applying damage, and they do have the links, which is like a great thing to knock off the field, but their tank is going to be so much stronger than the Helas for Feign Disorder.
Yeah, and even though they were able to melt it pretty quick, like just look how fast those Solar Helas melted. If Solar went for the Helas instead of the Claymore, they probably could have gotten 2 instead of 1. Instead of 1 Claymore, they could have just gotten 2 Helas, which is way better at trade. That's like 1400 DPS versus like 500 DPS or something.
So it looks like the Feign Disorder team is going to converge around Zeka's Claymore, the next target that they can basically get tackle on, and bring him down. And meanwhile, they actually might lose Heros' Claymore there. He is dropping pretty low. He might be finished his reload though any time now. So we'll have to see whether they have enough DPS to bring him down.
I can't tell for sure, but it looks like Feign Disorder were shooting the Gila drones because there's only 1 Gila drone left. It's just this one augmented hammerhead just going ham on Heros. And that's just 1 drone's worth of damage.
It's interesting to see that Solar Fleet had brought the Sleipnir last weekend in this basically the same setup, but the Sleipnir was banned out by Feign Disorder this time, so they brought a Claymore. Both teams moved into the Claymore with the Sleipnir banned. We actually saw that being used quite effectively at the end of the last Alliance tournament in that final series between PL and Hydra. A Sleipnir ban pushing in the last match Hydra into a Claymore, which, although it was effective, wasn't as effective as the Sleipnir probably would have been in that team, and really ended up hurting them. The Sleipnir ban and pushing people into the Claymore, it's one of those bans that has actually proven very effective in the past.
Yeah, because it's something that you're like, oh, it's only like 10%, 15% less effective, but those in a game when you only have like a few ships, like that 12% actually means an awful lot. As we see the DPS sort of slowing down a little bit, so Ralph is sort of running away, but they're not really. It looks like maybe Feign is just sort of looting the field a little bit, picking up some of these augmented drones that we see strewn about the place.
These are very expensive drones, and they're in huge demand in this tournament, with the very heavy, like mobile drone rather than sentry drone meta that we've been seeing. Augmented drones have been used by pretty much all the top teams.
Yep, absolutely, and they do well. They're a little bit beefier, they're a little bit faster, they do a little bit more damage. So similar to like the Claymore to Sleipnir trade, the few percentage points you get actually compound greatly. And I don't know if they swung the match for Feign Disorder in this one, but they're still really effective.
Well, actually, Feign Disorder was using Tech 2 drones.
So
it was
that's why
Solar.
they're looting.
It was Solar that was using the augmented drones. And yeah, the augmented drones do have a pretty significant advantage. They got the hit points, they've got great damage. They actually got buffed in our recent Chronos release. But yeah, obviously they're no match to bringing your actual maximum number of pilots, which is pretty much always a great strategy. And we've seen now the Feign Disorder, or the Solar Fleet Claymore of Zeka has flown out of the arena and destroyed for a boundary violation.
Man after my heart. Now the next Tila just gets mopped up really quickly.
There we go. And that is the match. Solar Fleet is going down to the losers bracket. Of course, they're still in this tournament. They just have to face elimination next weekend. And Feign Disorder will be moving forward to face the Tuskers next weekend. So we're going to get ready for our next match, which is the Ronin versus Easily Excited, and which I can already say is shaping up to be one of the best matches today. Some pretty spectacular setups. And we'll be back in just a few moments for that.